So, Paul, you've just finished your panel discussion. I heard it went very well. In your opinion, what were the highlights of the session this morning?
I think the exciting part of the session was getting to speak to someone from the academic space about a very commercial project and seeing where the dialogue in the research and development and sort of the thought leadership space from the academic perspective is really in lockstep, aligned with where we're going and how we're thinking in the industry.
And how do you think it's changing when it comes to the academic world, in your perspective?
Well, I think the moderator was from faculty from FIT, right? So we understand that there's a whole new set of skills and capabilities that young designers are going to need to learn in order to succeed in a future world where it's not just about fabric and illustration, but it's also around application programming interfaces and use case scenarios and all this new user interaction scenario. The designer in the future is going to have to become better and more fluent in a technology dialogue and sort of learn to coexist with the technologists and learn how to talk to programming engineers, and seeing that there's an academic space where that cultivation is happening, similarly aligned to these new skills that we're having to learn at Levi's as we engage with Google. It's really exciting. The other thing that I really like about this conference, if I may, is when I was just in the bathroom waiting in line for the toilet, I met a guy who is cultivating cotton in a laboratory instead of in a field. And so the connections that are happening in every corner of the event is really, really exciting.
And how do you think that technology is reshaping fashion? Because that's something that we're very passionate about here at Fashinnovation, is how technology and fashion come together. But in your opinion, how do you think it's being reshaped?
I think a lot of us are trying to think of ways to fight against a fast fashion race to the bottom on things like price point. Now, we can say that we don't want to participate in this fast fashion race to the bottom, but the question is, have we offered or designed some reason for the consumer to really pay more, right? We can't just say one t-shirt is better made than the other, so you should buy the better made one, even though it's going to cost more. That's not really a fair proposition to put to the consumer. If we think about integrating technology into clothes and offering new values that there's no competitor, there's nothing to compare it against, it just simply stands alone as a useful, valuable thing. You can't really race that to the bottom because it's so unique and so special. I think that's really a solution to fight against this push to the bottom. If we just design fewer, better things, people will buy them.
I'm personally in awe of Levi's because they continue to stay ahead of the game all the time. Why do you think that is? How are they doing it?
I think that we are a company that's willing to invest in a great seasonal design, seasonal marketing, maintaining relevancy by staying at the center of culture, at the same time putting a team like mine on the task of figuring out what's 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, and not holding us to those sort of seasonal design cycles, allowing us to do things like this 5-year collaboration with Google that's bringing great product to the market outside of your normal cycle, right? It's not a spring-fall thing. I think we stay ahead by never losing sight of what the consumer needs and really focusing on what the consumer wants and anticipating those wants 5 years out.
Now, I can't let you go before I ask you to tell our viewers about this 5-year partnership with Google.
So in the fall of 2014, we got approached by Google with this crazy new technology, the ability to weave in capacitive yarns that allowed the surface of the garment, just the fabric itself, to be sort of like as sensitive as the surface of a phone. And if you can use your gestural input on your garment instead of having to pull your phone out, what can you do? What you can do is you can get from here to there on your bike, scrolling through your playlists on Spotify, or calling up your navigation for your next one gesture gets you the next turn. But it also, on the weekends when you're not on your bike going to work, it can you can manage your Lyft or your Uber. You can the technology allows us to, if I've got drunk and leave my phone at the bar, my phone sends a little note to my jacket as I'm walking away saying, hey, go get me, and my cuff starts to vibrate. And all of these sort of simple use case scenarios that don't require me pulling a phone out from my pocket to take a look at it. I can actually keep my eye contact with you and still know when my car's a minute away.
Excellent. Instant, seamless, and all about fashion. That's what we like here at Fashinnovation.
And washable.
And washable. Look at that. Well, Paul, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the show. Guys, stay tuned. More to come from us here on the red carpet at Fashinnovation.